Hello, beautiful being. Thanks for stopping by here. So I have an Ascension living tip. First of all, we're going to talk about what really is Ascension, how does our lives change, and how we can live most effectively in our Ascension journey. All right, here we go. First off, just want to do a little reminder of what Ascension is. The way I see it is Ascension comes after our awakening journey. Awakening is we start to notice that something's not adding up here. We start having these broader perspectives of life. We start connecting in with our energetic vibrational beingness. We start to heal by releasing dense frequencies. And we have something called the dark night of the soul, where we have ego deaths, right? Where we start feeling depressed. We might even have some suicidal thoughts. This is part of your attachments unhooking and part of your ego dying. And it's extremely painful. And it can look like depression, and it can look like suicidal thoughts. It's very uncomfortable. This is the awakening journey. You know, when we think of awakening, we're like, oh, eyes wide open, enlightenment, yay. The awakening journey is not so pretty. In the Bhagavad Gita, they call it dejection. Yeah, you're just dejected from your whole life. You feel like you don't fit in. You feel like you've never been more disconnected from people, and you can't relate to anyone or anything. And this is okay. This is your awakening journey. And it goes on for a long time. So that's awakening. And when does awakening turn into this ascension journey? Well, once we've done a lot of healing of our field and our body and our wounding, and our vibration raises up naturally. And once we are at a high frequency that's ever expanding, we never arrive, we're always a work in progress. We're always kind of on the awakening journey, but it turns into the ascension journey when we're really aware that we are a vibrational being and that we are working at living from this high frequency all the time, bringing it into our cells, bringing it into the space of our being. So when you are aware that that's what you're living right now, that's when you're in your ascension journey. And there's a lot of perspectives on ascension. I know for me, in this moment in time, I'm working on ascension as embodying ascension high frequency into my field and into this physical body, and living from that light for kind of the evolution of humanity and the timeline of humanity. So that's how I'm playing with ascension. But just to know that there's a lot of views and a lot of perspectives and ways of living an ascension life and journey. And this is the one that I'm choosing right now. So I wanted to give you a tip today, but first, an ascension tip. But first I want to tell you a story. That's kind of give an example of this tip. So a few days ago, probably a week ago, I could start to feel my vibration going down. I started to spiral down. I could feel kind of like that old depression feeling that I would feel. And I was like, what is this? So instead of distracting myself, I really sat with it. I sat with it and I meditated, and I opened my eyes and I was like, I'm going to start singing. I'm going to play some music. And I did. And then I started to strain my voice, and then I felt worse. And I started to get depressed. So I was like, oh, am I not supposed to be singing anymore? I don't feel interested in doing anything these days. And I just started spiraling down again. So I decided to go onto my couch and put on just a mindless TV show. And I started to binge watch it. So I started at 10 p.m. and I literally did not move off the couch till 10 a.m. I did not sleep. I don't even think I left the couch to go to the bathroom. I just stayed there and watched and just kept clicking next episode. And part of me got in my head and was like, oh my gosh, if my husband wakes up and sees me here like that I didn't go to sleep yet. So I was just like, okay, done, after 10 o'clock. And I was just like, we're going to go have a day here. I'm not going to be able to go to sleep. So, I walk my dog, come home, have breakfast with my husband, clean the garage, make dinner. By 10 o'clock at night, I was like, I got to go to bed. The next morning, I wake up. My vibration came back up. I felt my sense of purpose and sense of self again, myself as source. I felt very motivated and clear. I was able to do a yoga practice and be in joy and extreme clarity around something that I needed to make a choice on. And I felt very clear about making the choice. I went through with it. And it was amazing. And I feel like I'm back. My point in telling you guys this story is, and here's the ascension tip. Living in your ascension journey is void of all cause and effect. When we are in 3D living, right? Eat healthy, you get this result. You get 7.5 hours of sleep, you get this result. You go see a psychiatrist, you get this result. You take a shower, you get this result. You do this, you get this result. When you living in your ascension journey, that is not the case. Everything goes out the window. There is no more cause and effect. So the most important way to live is through your awareness. Now, it's really challenging to live with your own awareness if you are still judging the shit out of yourself. So, I'm a trained wellness practitioner. Went to college for it. There is a lot of cause and effect, do this to get that result kind of thing in the wellness industry. So for me, to stay up for 24 hours watching a TV program, which some would say was just kind of numbing out, I had to really keep tucking that judgment away. I'm just like, this is what we're doing. This is what I need to do right now. And I kept just tucking away the judgment. Thinking about my husband coming out and judging me. I just had to tuck that away. And the minute I really just allowed myself to just really lay there, truly lay there and watch TV as long as I got the awareness to keep doing it, and it wound up being 12 hours. Once I got rid of the judgment, just laying there and just, I don't know what my vibration was doing. Maybe I did need the distraction for myself to come back to connection. I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is that I felt this awareness to go on the couch and watch the TV, and I felt the awareness to not go to sleep that night. And I followed it, and I kept putting the judgment aside. And all I know is that I feel so much better. I feel like I actually have jumped in vibration. It was like I needed to go offline. Perhaps this is it. I needed to go offline, basically, from my frequency. And watching TV for 12 hours helped me get offline, let that kind of do its own thing. And then when I got back online, I was able to integrate into a higher frequency. I don't know exactly, but what I do know is when you are in this ascension journey, get out of judging yourself. There is no right or wrong anymore. There is no cause and effect anymore. All there is your awareness guiding you. And if you are truly 100% willing to be guided by your awareness, you need to leave your judgment at the door, okay? You need to leave certain programming, whether it's internal program or a program out here that says this is how you ascend, or this is the awakening process. No, take them as, ideas that your awareness might take you to, because at some point in the journey, it might be just what your being and body want. but it may not be in the capacity that they're saying. So another example is I'm part of this business training. And whenever I take business trainings, I'm in it, but I'm also like still holding the broader perspective, because there's so much manipulation in business and marketing, right? And that's not really where I want to come from, but I do want to know how to reach people so that my programs can be helpful to people if their awareness is guiding them to it. So I take my business training with a grain of salt. I take what fits with my heart and I let go of the rest. And so I'm in this business training and I'm noticing some things that I'm like, yeah, I'm not ever going to do that, because they're naming that do this, get this result. Do this, get that result. That's not the reality that I live with anymore. So it doesn't mean that we don't participate in physical life anymore, because as we raise our vibration and we're living like our source selves in this kind of multi-dimensional way in 3D living, like we're living side by side a cause and effect reality that we can actually see it all. So we're living here in this cause and effect reality, and here we are not living of that. We're living near it, so we see it. So it's confusing. So sometimes we go back into that world and say, oh, I've got to do it this way. So be mindful that if you participate in like programming or, institutions or education and in the institutional way, or online programs, that someone's saying, do this to get that. Okay, that's the promise of certain like education and programming. Just know that if you feel called to experience what they're offering, go for it. But hold it with a broader perspective. Because on your ascension journey, I'll say it again, there is no more cause and effect. Okay? Right? So how many people would have judged sitting on a couch for 12 hours watching TV that is good to lift the depression? Because the thing is, I wasn't in true depression. There was a certain energy that needed some attention, that needed to shift or integrate. Maybe it was just integration. Perhaps sitting on the couch for 12 hours watching something gave my body and being time to integrate, and I could just kind of get out of the way. Who knows? The ascension journey becomes very elusive. It has no boundaries really, because we're becoming infinite beings in infinite bodies. So infinity doesn't have cause and effect. So that is my ascension tip here. There's no more cause and effect. Get out of judgment. You may have to do something that the 3D world would say like, oh, that's not good for you, or what are you doing? You're not taking care of yourself. Whatever. Follow your awareness. The ascension life isn't like just eating like, your juices and living like high vibing. We're still functioning alongside this 3D reality, and we're still in a physical existence. So we have to still participate. And the way we participate in physical living while we're ascending is letting go of the cause and effect boundaries that have been laid upon us to fix us in a reality that's controllable. In your ascension journey, you're no longer controlled. You're no longer manipulated. You're starting to become the master vibration of your reality. And that goes beyond all limits of physical reality. So let me know what you think about this. Let me know in the comments. I know, weird topic today, huh? Namaste, beautiful one.